shown in. We going live right now. Sip on some wine or Bacardi while the spotlight is bright. Grab a seat for the Monday night panel. Nick and the Mars coming through with the light.
Hope nobody gets stung. Avoid that killer bee. Don't get bit by Sue Ellen. The squad is finally free. United with one ambition, seeking out the missing. Monday night we on a mission. United with one ambition, searching for the missing. Mod Squad on a mission.
No time for breaks, got the ammo in hand. Find the porch perp and make him shake. We standing for Nancy and the truth across this land. Fight for the people when they voices start to break.
Hope nobody gets stung. Avoid that killer bee. Don't get bit by Sue Ellen. The squad is finally free. United with one ambition, seeking out the missing. Monday night we on a mission. United with one ambition, searching for the missing. My squad on a mission, marching past the desert line. Sheriff Manos is a goon, looking like he wants to fly straight up to the moon. The justice gotta come soon. United with one ambition, seeking out the missing. Monday night we on a mission. United with one ambition, searching for the missing. My squad on a mission, rise with hearts ablaze. Never let the justice fade. Rise with hearts ablaze. The mission is already made. Shout out, Maker RPG. Lord Monday, we out big.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome in. Hi, Mystic. How's your day?
Busy.
Right? I'm
Busy.
sweaty.
It's hot today.
Right? It's hot in my kitchen.
Oh yeah. Where's everyone watching from? Hello, hello. Thank you, Timmy. Timmy. So you feeling any better, Brenda?
Oh, so much better. Yeah, I felt like I was on death's door for a few days. I was being over, this, but yeah, the fever has broke, the aches, the chills.
Awesome.
I'm back.
Awesome. Awesome.
I think, yeah, vacation kicked my butt. No.
Right? A little
Lesson
vacation
learned.
hangover.
Yeah, right.
Okay, I'm going to put the link in the comments in case anyone wants to come up and join the panel. So what are we talking about tonight, Brenda?
Oh, I don't know. I was thinking a few things with trying to catch up on all the episodes that I missed over the last 15 days, 10 days. So I've been going through things, and a few things caught my eye. Like I saw Patriot Pride talking about the same 911 calls as Juanita Dalme has and how Daphne has. And so I'm back on that, and I actually found it on my maps. So I'm not exactly sure. I want to rewatch Juanita's video and then try to figure out which, because Patriot's map had 2 locations marked, and I don't know which one was which. And I know she kind of pointed out which one was which, but didn't have names on her maps. So maybe we can match them and kind of figure out, and then look on Google Maps and see. And also I heard today, I got an email from that reporter, Taylor Seeley, that is from the Arizona Republic, that contacted me before, and so she sent an approval email of what she wants to quote me saying, and it seems all positive and good. So I said I approve of all that, and then added that I was also proud to let her know, if she didn't know, that some streamers have had their charges dropped and some have had some charges dropped. So
That
I've
is
got
awesome.
those emails, the email from her to show us, and yeah, show you guys what she said, and then show you what I sent her back. Keep everybody in the loop.
Sounds good. Yeah, did you watch that that one stream I told you about with the
With the
the
side by
wall?
side with Tomas.
Yeah.
Yes. I was like, you know,
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, right? It's hard to not see it. I know we've said it and we've explained it different ways and we've talked about it, and then you see someone else talk about it and you're like, you know, it's hard to like, because we have so many different hypotheses. So it's, you know, you see that one and you'd be like, oh man, I wish we could prove that one completely wrong, but like the more evidence that comes out, it looks the exact opposite.
I know it does. Yeah, that was Patriot Pride video, I think.
Yeah. I watched, I don't even know how many hours, maybe like 8 hours of Patriot Pride back to back, catching up on his 2 lives.
Yeah, and I've
Patriot
actually
Pride
missed a
all
lot of
night.
lives. Yeah, I
Right?
missed a
There's
lot
so
the past 2 days.
every day that I was away, it was like more stuff is breaking. First 857 charges dropped, and then Bonita's charges dropped, but no, is she getting more charges? Then Alex's charges are dropped, but not all of them, but some of them. And I'm just like, what? What is Paul can't keep up.
Right.
Thank God
So
I had all you
Brianna
guys on
wants to
Discord.
know how Nick is doing. I haven't heard from Nick today. Brenda, do you know if he's feeling any better?
He was just saying that he was busy at work, so I assume that he was not sick with the same sickness I was sick with, because I don't see how he would have been busy at work feeling that way. So I think he's feeling good, but I don't know that.
And updates on Juice's charges, I have not heard anything at all.
No, I did send an invite out, an email to Juice, although we keep missing him. He does keep emailing back every Monday, just like later in the night saying, oh, I missed you guys again. So, you know, it would be nice maybe if he did see us on tonight and stop by to give us an update.
That would be great.
Right?
would
If
be
not,
great.
send him an email and get us an update. But as far as I know, I think he has court coming up next week. I don't remember what day. And if the 10th is Friday, then I guess Saturday, Sunday. So it would be the 13th would be Monday. So maybe likely the 14th, 15th, or 16th is his court.
Yeah, something like that. Now, why do you think it is that his charges has not been dropped yet, but Alex actually had a felony charge dropped?
You
You have
know,
any thoughts?
I have one thought, and that's how do we get in touch with Black Lives Matter? You know, like I feel like they would come in an army supporting Juice. Why is he the only one right now that has had no interaction? They just remanded his court date for a month later and left him hanging when he's the youngest. He doesn't have a criminal record. His career depends on what happens with these charges.
Yeah. I just think it's very strange that, you know, the charges were dropped against him. I'm not saying that I didn't want these charges dropped, but I wanted the charges dropped against all of them. It's just very odd.
Yes, I found it. Yeah, I found it very odd too that why in June on the 12th didn't they drop those charges against him, especially when the first one, his citation that was dependent on why he got arrested the second time for a chair leg in the road, one chair leg, one
and a toe,
chair leg, yeah, and a toe,
and a toe. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, right. Because if they dropped those, then his second charge would have just been a citation per se, right? How Nano said, we're going to warn them all. We told them to get out of there, which he never did.
Yeah.
I didn't catch his new interview, but I saw a lot of people talking about it.
I don't think I saw it.
I saw clips of it that he spoke to, I think, Monica again, or a radio show.
I don't know. Yeah, I missed so much over. I've actually missed more than just a few days, but I've been missing a lot this past week.
Well,
past 2
right?
weeks.
It's like we've gone months with like maybe one thing happening a week, and then this past 15 days seems that like 3 things happened every day.
Yeah. Yeah, going crazy. I 4th of July, I got to enjoy my day. I hope everyone had a good 4th of July weekend even, but yeah, I got to enjoy my day, and no clue what I missed because I haven't really caught up since.
Well, that's not good. I was relying on you guys to catch me up.
Yeah, well, don't rely on me because I am lost. Tim worked all day on the 4th. Ugh. I actually fell off the pool ladder on the 4th. And no, I was not drinking. I don't drink. I'm just clumsy. So I am still sore for that. My God.
Yeah, that sounds brutal and not fair.
Yeah. Yeah, when you think you're on the bottom step and you're not, you kind of come down hard.
Oh. And in your swimsuit, so I'm sure that wasn't pleasant.
It was nice though, laying back in the pool and watching the fireworks come down. But the problem was
yeah, that would have been amazing. Yeah,
it was really.
I was on the beach, but for Canada Day, but yeah, not in the water. It was kind of the storms had hit here super hard for the day before Canada Day and then Canada Day. So we weren't sure if we were going to get fireworks, but then last minute they said, okay, we're doing them. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
It was a good day.
Okay, so what do you want to dive into? Let's do the. I'm curious what your interview, how that went. Do you have?
Okay, yeah, I'll pull that email up and then share it. Just a second.
Let's see. What is this? Nanos did interview with Cold. There's the reporter who was at Derek Colello's hearing the other day. Oh, Gemini. Was it the jerk that was at the hearing that we're getting on to the streamers? That one? This reporter who was at DC. Interesting. That was weird. Did you guys see the guy with the hat that said Bitcoin and he was like completely covered out in the Arizona heat? Okay, so it wasn't. Okay, and it's a female. This was a male that I'm thinking of. But yeah, they had this character out there during the hearing, and it's very strange because he had a big sombrero with and it said Bitcoin across it. His face was completely covered. It was very strange and very, I don't know what you want to say, coincidence maybe that he just happened to be outside.
Where was this?
This was outside of the, where all the streamers were, when Colello was in court. Derek Colello.
Oh, I never saw that.
Yeah, it was odd. It was really odd. I'm going to let you talk about this. I'm going to see if I can pull up that picture. So let me put this on there. All right. Let's see if I can find this.
Oh. No. Right, hold on, I screwed that up. No, I put the wrong one up. Okay, so this is just what I sent back to her. So just hang on 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. This one. feel new. Like, how do I share my screen again? Take a week off and it's over. Look at this one. Okay, yeah, this one.
Are you staying there? Do you have room upstairs for your parents? Okay. No, I see. You don't want to talk to strangers. That's okay. We're close to the rest of your life. I'm good. Just sing it off. No, wait. You see, I'm good. So that means
I think so.
That's really hard to see.
I'll read it to everybody. Sorry. I can make it bigger. No, not easily. Oh, too big. That kind of look good if I scroll it. Kind of too big though. So yeah, so she sent an email that basically was like, okay, I'm ready to, make the article. And so she just wanted to confirm, because I had asked her when we talked on the phone to let me, kind of approve what she was going to quote me as saying. So she had a little intro, like, wish me a happy 4th, and was like, oh wait, I remember you're from Canada, and then went into all this. So can everyone see that, or do you want me to read it? What do you think?
I can see it now pretty good. I wonder if I do. Okay. That might help too.
So basically, yeah, I don't know. I like the way everything, like, she didn't focus on it, and then she put at the bottom about like what I'm really focused on, because I wanted it to be about all the streamers. So she said in that article, it'll say, Brenda Walsh, a woman from Canada, launched a petition calling on the Pima County attorney to uphold the streamers' First Amendment rights and drop all the charges. Many of the petition signers expressed skepticism about mainstream news outlets and said they believe the streamers play a critical role in holding police accountable to solve Guthrie's case. They rebuked the arrests as retaliatory, and they, along with the streamers, have criticized the mainstream media's coverage as improperly scrutinizing YouTubers over law enforcement. Now, she said she went through and she read like all of the comments, and there was like a couple hundred on Juice's petition. Then she quoted me as saying, I'm terrified that if Pima County sets this precedent, the streamers aren't allowed to be in neighborhoods where breaking news is happening, then it's going to snowball across the USA and Canada. Scores of comments supporting the petition, calling the streamers independent journalists. Oh, I just touched something, you guys. Something bad. Backspace. Right? Okay, we're back. Go to 100 again.
There we go.
Scores of comments supporting the petition, calling the streamers independent journalists who provided the truth in real time. Some say they wouldn't have access to the news otherwise, which I think is so true. Like, yeah. However, someone was just saying that, and I don't remember if it was on the interview room or somewhere, but somewhere was just saying that how we express over and over that the news gives us a 5-second clip, and I think they were generous and said 5 minute, and I don't know any news broadcast that actually gives a 5-minute clip of what's happening. It's like 30 seconds if we're lucky. Then they tell us how we're supposed to feel about it, and they move on. I think the live streamers actually give us a real-time account about what is going on.
Yeah.
Then it said, my biggest priority, I said, was to stand up for the First Amendment rights and to stand up for all streamers. Even if we don't agree or watch that streamer, it's not about that one person. It's about every streamer and setting the laws to affect every streamer going forward.
Wow.
I think that was
so, guys. That's
the last point I made.
Yeah, that's a sneak peek of an interview that Brenda had. So we will be seeing that news article soon. So you've seen it first here.
Right? I'm going to share it all over it, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
is,
there you go. There you go. Maybe we
guys
just pop up into live when that article comes out.
right?
That's great.
You know, we could because
Yeah.
it's like things are happening, you know. And so then when I answered to her, that was the other one that I was just gonna share, just so you guys are as up to date on it as I am. Nothing to
I
hide.
love that, and I love that she sent you what she's going to put in the article first
Right?
to get your
Yeah.
approval.
Right. And I'd asked for it, but it didn't mean I had to, you know.
Yeah. I still cannot
So,
find a picture of this guy with the Bitcoin hat. I guess I'm going to have to go through.
It's out there somewhere.
I know it was on 857s. I just hate to take one of the streamers' stuff. But if I can just
And then
do
that's
a
my
straight-
response if you want to put that up.
Yeah. There we go.
So then I just, I said that I think that was great, that I agreed with everything in the email that I was responding to. I look forward to reading the article, and I'm proud to have interacted with her on this topic. And then that I was proud to add that some of the charges against some of the streamers have been dropped.
Perfect.
So hopefully, you know, short, sweet, to the point.
Right? Our Brenda is famous, guys.
Let's hope still she doesn't smear campaign me.
It's so funny though. You get the interview. You know what I mean? You get the interview for and tell everyone why you got the interview.
Well, it's because I had created the petition when Juice first got his one toe and one chair leg charges, and I was just so appalled that, you know, they're going to give this man a criminal record when his job is dependent on, you know, having a level 3 crim check with vulnerable people and such, you know, and to just take his whole future. He's a young man with children, and to do this is so wrong. So I was so passionate about that, and I was tagging people all over. And part of the petition actually says, if the media wants to reach out to you, will you put your email or phone number or whatnot? And I was like, heck yeah, at the time. But I never actually thought that anything would like come of it, you know? And then, I don't know what it was, about a month ago or so, maybe, that she reached out, and I right away answered and was like, heck yeah, I know Nick did a live. So it's documented somewhere, whatever that day it was. I went on Nick's live and talked about it that day. So then, I was happy to talk to her. She phoned me that night and we did the interview, and it was like, okay, this all happened, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. So that, guys, that's why she got this interview and not anyone else. Because it's awful strange that, you know, we had Damien was actually outside of the court, the news station, waving, you know, interview me. And,
Yes.
you know, our mod Brenda Walsh got the interview. But that's why, you know, it's, you do hard work, you get the word out there. It's working. It's working. And maybe, you know, this is going to be a news station that actually, you know, they showed this, so we know the truth's going to get out there. They're not going to twist the words. You know?
Right? Yeah,
It's
I feel like, you know, like putting it out there like this, we're sort of keeping her accountable too, the same way with the live stream, with the streamers, we're putting it out there in real time as it's happening, reporting, and not just the finished and news article, but the whole process that happened along the way.
Yes. Yeah, this is great.
And I just in chat who it was, the AZ Central Arizona Republic, Taylor Seeley was her name. I loved 857's dance outside of KVOA, and then Juanita saying, do the Rocky dance. And I was cheering him along. I was like, yes.
You know, I'm on the other side of the freaking country, and I'm like hiding like they can see me over my phone. I was like, oh my God, stop.
Right? Fist right up with them, like, yes.
I mean, I don't blame them. You know, it's like, come on, you want to follow me around and talk about what I do? Let's talk about this.
Right? Let's finish the story. Let's,
I hate confrontation, though. So I was like, oh, God. No,
yeah.
I still can't find this with the guy with the Bitcoin hat. I will find it. Eventually.
We are determined people. You will find it.
But yeah, that was great. Great news article. So what else do we have? What else has happened this week? Let's see. We had since last Monday, we had the Derek Colella hearing. He already has 5 years probation, and he was sent to a rehab. I guess it's either that or a warrant for his arrest. But there's still a
Yeah, I guess that's what they
sentencing
said,
date.
right? In September?
So, in September. I'm not sure
So
I understand, because how did he get 5 years probation already if he hasn't been
Right.
sentenced?
There's a lot of people going back and forth on the is he, like cutting a deal with them? Is he not? Is he talking? Is he not? Does he have anything to talk about? Does he not? It's hard to say. Did anybody watch like Mark the Shark or what he had to say? Because I heard he was in the courtroom, right? Was Juanita also in the courtroom?
Yes, and AJW was in the court.
Right. So they would probably have really good things to pick their brains. They were only here with us, but it could be just reliant that if he does the drug treatment and tests negative and stays out of trouble. But it is weird that his sentencing is like, that's still what, 90 days? September?
Yeah. So and I didn't hear how long he's going to be in this rehab either.
I think
You
Britney
guys
Spears
are
will be for
radio.
30 days.
I don't know. It's very odd.
Yeah, I really think there's more to his story, but
Yeah.
I think, with him not saying, change of plans, send the money to this Bitcoin wallet, or put it in a duffel bag and, leave it in this park, or, there was no change of plans. It was just, did you get the Bitcoin? We're waiting on our end. So he never sent a different Bitcoin wallet. He wanted them to send it to the same place as the email ransoms. And then they saying that 9-second call. Somebody said, I heard this week, that the 9-second call was just dead air. Why would you stay on the phone for 9 seconds to listen to dead air? Like say if you were the person that answered it, Annie, Tommy, or family member, whoever, just picked up the phone and said, hello, and then waited 9 seconds. Like,
So who said that? Like,
it was on a streamer. I don't remember who it was that said that. Somebody this week, though. Did anyone else see that? It could have been Fugitive TV. It could have been Interview Room, kind of talked about Colella.
yeah, and they didn't say where they got that information
Colella.
from?
No, because I was yelling at my TV at that point to be like, as if he didn't say anything. Because I doubt,
Right.
you don't just wait around 9 seconds to see if a telemarketer is gonna like start talking to you about the great deal they have. Like, you don't say hello twice on the phone, because that'll connect the telemarketer. If you don't know the number, you've answered it already and no one's talking. You're not just, what do you think, it's a butt dial and you're listening? Like,
Yeah. So yeah, we had that. I found that interesting. I'm not big on laws. I know you are, but I've just never heard of somebody getting 5 years probation without even having a sentencing.
and
Yeah,
with his maybe, like, I don't know, does anyone else know, does he have a court date coming up for that other, like the unemployment fraud for that? Are they just, it's in a different state though, so.
Right. I don't know.
In his 5 years, like, he's just gonna, like, what'll it be? Stay away from drugs and alcohol and certain people, and then he's gonna have to stop DJing, because how do you stay away from drugs and alcohol and be a DJ unless there's sober places that the hunk flesh can DJ at?
It's going to become very boring.
You know, like probably not so good for him.
Yeah. So, what else happened this week? So we have the back and forth about the ransom letters. One minute they're not, none of them are real, and the next minute, oh yeah, some of them are, and then the other ones are fraudulent. So,
Yeah, I'm so confused about all of those.
yeah, I think that original post that come out where they were saying that the FBI, I think that came from Reuters, where they were saying that they weren't real, that the FBI said they weren't real. I
Now,
believe
did
that-
someone say that Reuters is owned by LexisNexis? Does anyone know that?
by who?
LexisNexis, they own, they run, like, I know them because here they own, is like called like Westlaw, where you can look up court cases and whatnot. So I'm just like, if Reuters is actually owned by LexisNexis, that company, I feel like they'd have to be putting out only true information.
Right. I think it was just the way that it was worded. I don't believe they meant
Like, are they saying
every
the
one of
ones
them.
that the 1 Bitcoin, half a Bitcoin, the ones that Harvey keeps getting, those ones, maybe that
Right.
weren't real?
That's what I'm thinking.
And that they still were like, no, the two first ones.
I still believe those two first ones are the ones that they think are real.
Right. That Savannah's been going by. And like, yeah, some people maybe on the interview room or somewhere have said, like, what would they just let Savannah keep believing the real FBI if they honestly didn't think those two were real? Or their best hope at being real?
And I mean, they have to believe one of them. I mean, and I don't know if anybody can do this or if this actually has to be done like, through a legal process. Maybe you'll know the answer. But they have, like, if you research that, find a grave, you can actually find Nancy Guthrie and her date of death. Now, can
Really?
anyone do that? Yes. Yes, and I'm curious if anybody can just do that, or if there has to be a process, some type of legal process.
Yeah, right?
But okay, Brian Nitton had a stream today, and it was explained. TMZ did one yesterday, the other day. Okay, I did not see that Brian Nitton stream today.
No, I haven't watched any Brian's this week.
Yeah,
And
and
catching
that
up.
was today.
I did watch Righteous Monkey doing a Mexican and hey guys, or at least half of one. Cracks me up. He says hey guys like 10 times in 2 minutes, hey guys, and cuts it again. Hey guys. Like,
Oh boy.
cracks me up.
Yeah, so another thing I was thinking. I'm really stuck on this one thing as far as when she come up missing, we hear all of the calls. Oh, we have Lolly. Hi, Lolly. Welcome in.
Hi.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hey. Good, how are you?
Doing good, getting back to normal life after being away for a while.
Oh, what's
All
a
three of
normal
us, right?
Tell me. So what I'm thinking is, we hear the audio calls from the scanner, and we've seen a lack of the information, and that's her clothing.
Right?
That's her clothing. What?
What she was
All right.
last seen in.
Yeah. Now, this is going to sound horrible. They gave the dog, one of the dogs at the beginning, a blue shirt. I don't know if you guys remember that, to sniff.
Is that the one that was like filmed on the walkway?
Yes. So, and there was something in the house that made them call homicide. I mean, I don't know what that was about, but there was something that made them call homicide.
Right?
Yeah, hearing aid left behind. I mean, At 1 minute, Nano said that the house was clean, it was spotless. But then, and the very next night he had said something about yeah, see, here's Jeep Girl. Sorry, I'm not good at multitasking, but is there a chance that she wasn't wearing clothes? I really hate to go there, but
I mean, it's
there
not.
was
Yeah.
there was that
There was
report
no-
that they took a clipping of a bed sheet.
Yes, I remember
They're
hearing
not
that.
saying
That
what they found on that bed sheet. Like, did they find ripped clothes, bloody clothes, something? There's something that, and they can't just go on the one note that says, "Oh, she passed away. She's no longer with us. She's buried with nature." What
Yeah,
proof do
I
they
mean-
have to actually say that she died February 1st?
Yeah, to have an actual date of death now, or to declare her like at this stage because the ransom note said so. Like
Yeah.
I
don't
wouldn't
know.
think the amount of blood on the porch is enough. So either they're withholding
That's
details.
not enough to call homicide in. No, definitely not. So, that spotless house, I call BS because they found something in the house. There's no way they'd call homicide out. I mean, I know he's an idiot and everything, but you're not going to call homicide for that little blood spatter on the front porch. They found something inside. Yeah, I don't know. And yeah, the evidence that they found planted by the streamers, I believe it was a glove. I think that came from TMZ though.
I never heard that.
I
I'm
don't
reading
even think-
Becky's comment right now, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that came from TMZ. And then it was by a media. I don't think it.
Yeah, the same way like that Savannah said that they were chased in their gated community to go in the dark of night holding hands to run away because streamers or someone were chasing them. And I don't know who that must have been, just mainstream media, because none of the streamers we watched, they were all at Nancy's, and everyone said they're not going to the gated community. They're not.
Yeah, Becky, it made me mad too. And yeah, and then we got the Cameron thing. I don't know if anyone watched Daphne's case files yesterday, but she really yeah, somebody was in that casita. I know that he
I
was
did
supposed
catch
to have
some
been
of that.
out of state. He flew in, but I don't know.
I mean, right? Like you see the rug bunched up. We've seen on someone's drone footage, there was like 2 CSI ladies were bent over at those sliding doors on the casita, doing something down in like the bottom corner of the door. I found that quite odd. Like who's opening the door or getting kind of some kind of prints or something off of the bottom of the door, It seemed like a weird
Right.
place, but
And
there
I
could have
would
been
really
spit.
like to find that.
If it was like bite light, maybe they did find spit DNA there, but
Yeah, well, that would have been all over that map if they would have taken it, because you know what I mean. It's,
right?
it's standing right over that map.
I've
with
been
the
mad.
windows.
Yeah, there's no way he wasn't just like drooling. Like,
Yeah. So this is another exciting thing. Now
Yeah,
we
this
know
is the-
exactly where the 3 masked men were. So tell us a
yeah,
little
this
bit
is the
about
one that Patriot Pride put out, and I have the link for Juanita's. But I seem to remember the first time I watched it, she didn't have street names on her map, so I'm hoping we can kind of match it up and see. But this one I looked actual, like, and I have it on the Google Maps here too, where this is. So I'm just not 100% sure, and that's why I think maybe we should rewatch the Juanita one too, to be like which thing is which, like there's an arrow pointing at this intersection, and then there's a pin up at the top. Now, is the pin where the 911 call was placed, or is the pin where Annie and Tommaso's old home was? Because supposedly they're both very, very close here in the same neighborhood.
Yeah. I am going to try to. Okay, I thought that I might have. I thought that I actually might have that
That information?
audio
Oh.
of that 911 call.
Oh, yes, that would be great because it might actually say what street.
But
Because I'm thinking if along this route, if by chance it was, the three masked men with a pew pew and maybe car hopping as the kid thought they were doing, or like it's been speculated, what if they weren't car hopping? What if they were changing vehicles or, switching things up, regrouping here after the fact? Would this be a place that they'd toss out her Nest camera or the mask or something? Is there a place here? And I kind of looked, I seen right at the corner where the arrow is, there's a restaurant and there's a big dumpster behind the restaurant. So that's unfortunate if that's where the evidence went, because it's long gone in the landfill.
yeah.
Nutritionally balanced, with high quality ingredients.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess if I do have it, it'll take me forever to find it. But the story behind that, I believe, if there's someone that hasn't heard about this, and it's been everywhere. But I guess there was a young child. Is that how that went? A young child saw.
Well, I'm not sure how young, but yeah, he woke up and heard stuff outside, looked out the window, saw three masked men. They called them men, but again, they were masked with a pew pew. So, I mean, fitting the description of porch guy, just times three, and what they looked like breaking into cars. So they woke up their mom or something, and then like the mom was said into 911 that she didn't see anything or hear anything, but the kid did. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a teenager and they were up later or.
Yeah, whoever it was woke up their mom. So, I mean, and mom didn't see it, but still took him serious. So,
Yeah.
we had that. We had the lady that was in black.
The screaming lady.
Screaming out of the car.
Yeah, in two different spots. Like, yeah, the door open, screaming out of the window. In what was it? A Chevy Malibu.
It was a Chevy Malibu.
Yeah. And it was on North Oracle and then again on Gulf Links Road.
So I wonder
So for Nanos to just be like, that has nothing to do with the woman who just got abducted this same night. Like,
so what does it
pardon?
have to do with? I'm curious.
Did you investigate it? Like, oh, that's in Tucson. What? Yes, like, just cross the road. You're in Tucson, like.
Yeah.
As you go to the main mall there outside of Nancy's neighborhood, right? Like, south of it is Tucson, north of it is Pima. Like, it's not like you're like driving 100 miles. Talking Canadian.
Exactly.
Sorry, everyone.
DJ, are you still cooking dinner? What did you cook us?
Hey, so I wanted to chime in real quick but go back. Sorry. To the
sorry.
ransom letters, and then them also to like kind of declaring it a crime scene right away, right? So, I'm wondering that they realize that okay, they're declaring it a crime scene, but they quit searching. So now we need to find a way to get money. Let's say if by chance a family member or somebody, who was going to get any type of inheritance, right? And so their thought could have been that they could get the inheritance quicker. So, okay, well, they're not searching for her. Now, So the brother brings up, oh, this was a ransom, kidnapping for ransom. So let's send a ransom letter.
Right.
Okay, well, that didn't work because we still didn't get any money. So then now let's send a letter to basically declare her dead. So then maybe the courts would declare her dead and we can get a hold of the other money faster. You know, like, it's just kind of, I think it's all money motivated, and then kind of interesting of how all of these things just kind of kept going down the cycle or whatnot, right? So those are some thoughts I was having also with it. And especially with them now coming out and kind of saying, and I don't know if they were really saying those first two initial ransom letters are not legitimate or what, right? But that's what it's kind of sounding like.
It's very confusing. It's such a, and all weirdly timed again, all at once and back and forth, just confusing us more. It feels like.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but our timeline that we come up with kind of makes a little more sense than the one they have.
Totally. I think that she was out of that house well before that 37 or whatever. I think she was out soon after he got the Ring camera. I still don't, because the pacemaker being disconnected at that time, all it means is that so a pacemaker the app.
Yeah. I actually wonder if she even made it home.
I was watching on Patriot last night, right?
I didn't see that last night.
He went through. Yeah, he went through just different ways that it could have been staged. And he spoke of pacemakers, and a lady had called in talking about the phone app pacemaker versus he was talking about the beside the bed pacemaker, the one that uploads to, like, your pacemaker uploads to the device. So I guess there's two types. If you have, and he thinks that Nancy would have the beside the bed one. I'm not sure why he thought that. But when the lady spoke, it kind of seems like by their information that maybe Nancy did have just the app one. And again, that could have been anywhere. They confirmed it tries to upload once a day. And it just meant that at 2:38, Nancy wasn't with her phone. It doesn't activate all day long. So that wasn't when she was separated from device uploading or her phone. It just was when it tried to upload. So she was gone at 2:38, but she could have went missing any time before that.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to go back and watch
Yes.
that tonight.
Wow. Exactly. That's,
it was such a good show.
I was that
for a while, right? There's been people talking about that for a while, right, Lols? Yeah.
Yeah, and that was one of my first thoughts, and I would try to like chime in on different chats and like say it, but it's so hard when there's like thousands of people in the chat, right? But I'm like, no, this isn't right. I promise, this is my profession, So anyway, so I just wanted to chime in on that real quick.
Yeah, there's so many interesting theories. Lols, did you see the Patriot Pride's video a few days back of the side by side with Tommaso walking and the perp walking?
I did not. I haven't even really been on or watched any of the videos in the last week. It was really hard, a lot harder than what I thought it was going to be. So I do, there's a couple I want to go back and like actually watch and listen to. Just I want to see some theories. So that I'll add that one to my list for sure.
Man, that was interesting. I tell you what, if you didn't suspect them before,
right? It's hard not to.
Your head.
If that's been in your theory hypothesis list at all, it's definitely coming back up to top 5.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to go watch that then. I mean, it's been my theory kind of from day one, even when everyone was saying no. I just keep going back to it and everything about it. So,
right. It's not even saying that they had malicious intent, that they did anything to actually actively hurt her. But an accident could have happened. Like, even if she was talking about Savannah and how great Savannah is at Annie's, and Annie was just upset that day, and maybe Tommaso was like, enough, just all theory. Nancy like maybe turned quick, grabbed her purse, she could have slipped, she's an old lady, fell, broke her neck, Lord knows, and then they just panicked and thought, oh crap, Savannah's
and
gonna
that's the
hate us.
thing. If something like that did happen, somebody needs to come forward and say something, because there's a big difference between, having a, what do you call that?
Well, I mean, they should have just called 911. It was an accident. It could very well have been an accident, but their actions after the fact and covering it up so that they wouldn't be seen as negligent, or maybe Savannah wouldn't be mad at them. Like, we all know Savannah's the cash cow of the family. Like, it's pretty obvious that they have to rely on the other family, like, to get them through their bills and whatnot, unless her book sales are skyrocketing.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to be a negative person, but I feel like we'll never, ever really know.
No, it's going to be right up there with JonBenet and the Lindbergh baby. And
yeah, it's like, what happened leading up to it?
And with no one speaking, like not even people from her birthday party, about, like, I'm still shocked hearing that interview room Karen got hung up on by Nancy's friend.
When was this?
Just recently, I guess.
Oh boy.
She tried to do an interview with one of the church ladies or Mahjong ladies. Someone, Karen from the interview room, she was talking about it on last night or something. And the lady was like, I'm done. Last interview? Yeah, I'm done doing interviews or something, and hung up on her.
Yeah.
Like, of all people, like, Karen just seems so sweet. Like, I can't imagine her being aggressive, and maybe they just caught the lady at the wrong time. Church friend, thanks, DJ.
Hey, it's the sweet ones you got to watch out for. It's like, go real quick, our horns will pop out in a heartbeat.
Right? Don't cross us, Taylor Seeley. Be nice. Be nice.
I hate to do this, but I have to actually walk away from the computer for about 10 minutes. I got to go do mom's meds. So.
Okay, well, can you put up the thing I'm sharing?
Yeah.
Because that's this is Juanita's video, so we can click play on that and hopefully get some intel.
All right, awesome. I will be.
Just real quick before you go, because I know Phoenix was asking about is Nick doing night court tonight?
Yeah, it should be on.
No idea.
It was on, or court was on today. This morning it was working, so it should be up and running.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to kind of
starting in about 7 minutes, whenever they get around to it.
Right.
Yeah.
It should be on.
Cool. I just thought maybe since he was in here, he could hear that or whatnot, because I know he came over here. He likes to go to court. So anyway.
Yeah, it should be on. We were back up and running this morning.
Okay, nice.
Okay, yeah, I'll press play on this.
On my personal opinions, experiences, and perspectives. It is intended for informational purposes only. I do not claim that my views are facts, and viewers are encouraged to do their own research and form their own opinions. Above it all, the goal is simple: to keep attention on the Nancy Guthrie case, to bring her home and bring justice to those who harmed her. So first and foremost, I want to thank Monk's Intrigue. Thank you so much for mentioning me on your channel, highlighting my work. I really appreciate it. I really liked the way that Monks expanded on my scanner traffic episode. It really kind of opened my eyes to a different perspective, actually one that I had not considered before. A lot of what he said really resonated with me. I don't know if it resonated with you guys. I'm sure it did, because he's really good. But especially the part about him saying that it was nanos in the scanner traffic. I can tell you that when I listened to that, and I listen to that traffic a lot, not once did I pick up on it being nanos, not one time. So when he pointed that out, I was like, oh my God.
I dare you to let me build you a completely free e-commerce store preloaded with 20 hand.
Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Do you guys think it's Nanos? Honestly, tell me. Tell me in the comments if you guys think it is Nanos in that traffic. Thanks again, Monks. I really appreciate your work too. Your work is what inspired me to start doing this. And I think after watching that video, I also believe that this is why this type of collective creative thinking really matters. You know, when we all kind of get together and we put our thoughts together and we learn from each other, it's really important. It brings these cases kind of back to life. I know there was kind of like a lull in the Nancy Guthrie case. I think, like Monks had said, you know, this is kind of like the not so much the boring part, but like the quiet part when we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. So I wrote this down. So when people sit down, compare notes, share what they're seeing, challenge each other's perspectives, and even look at cases from different angles, it will bring new attention, clarity, and ideas to a case that maybe it didn't have before. So thank you to everybody that's giving me a mention. Big City Dan, Retired Chicago Homicide, Jen Coffindaffer, Maureen O'Connell, Sleuth's Intuition, like all of these channels have mentioned me, and it feels, like I said, really good. You know, I read somewhere, it said, find a tribe, find a niche, find people that are going to be interested in your content. And I definitely feel like I have found my tribe. So thank you guys. I also want to talk really fast. I don't want to talk really fast, but sometimes I do. I want to talk really quickly. I want to talk about the comments. I'm trying to get to all the comments as best I can. I do work Monday through Friday. So when I do have a chance, I will get to everybody's comments. I try to respond when I can. I can't always do it. So just kind of bear with me. So before we move on, I really want to say that this will be another scanner traffic video. There are only 2 transmissions though that I'm going to be talking about. These videos are a little difficult for me because I don't want to make something out of nothing. Like I said in the last scanner traffic video, we don't know if the radio transmissions are connected to Nancy or that they're even related to the case. I just think they're worth discussing. You know, I think that they're worth looking at from different angles. The last scanner traffic video I did was more about the investigation itself, the search and rescue, everything surrounding that. This scanner traffic is related to more, it's related more to some maybe suspicious activity happening in some certain areas. I also want everybody to remember, Tucson is a city of about, what, 500,000 people. So this was January 31st, a Saturday night going into Sunday morning. So remember, there's lots of activities, parties, fights, disturbances, you name it. This scanner traffic was going crazy at this time. There was traffic all over there were things happening all over the city. It sounded like the traffic was really fast. So it was kind of hard at times to keep up with the dispatchers and police and or fire. I also want everybody to keep this in mind, okay? The timeline of the night that Nancy disappeared. So remember, 1:47 a.m., camera disconnected, 2:12 a.m., person detected on camera, 2:28 a.m., pacemaker disconnected. The scanner traffic that I found took place during the 2 a.m. hour, roughly between 2:25 and 2:40 in the morning. So this is a map of where Nancy's home is. You can see the arrow there up at the top, and that's in the Catalina foothills. This is an arrow of where the car was caught on camera. So remember the car in the Fox News digital video? That's where it was caught on camera. The time slots are categorized in Broadcastify for Sunday, February 1st between 2:20 and 2:50. As for the time codes, again, I can't pinpoint the exact time, but I will be providing estimated times. This is going to be based on the closest time reference that the dispatcher mentions in relation to the call that I'm going to be talking about. So with that said, here is that first call.
Unit split for level 2 suspicious activity. The East 32nd, the college reporting hearing of female screaming for help in the area.
Okay, so I narrowed this time 2:25 to 2:29 a.m. The area of the call
Okay, so I was kind of stopped here at this map where we're talking about the screaming lady. So I'll press continue in a second, but I just wanted to take a second and be like, this is one of the calls of the lady screaming out of the car, the Chevy Malibu driving down the road with a lady screaming out of it for help.
Was reported in a neighborhood. It was on East 32nd Street, and the caller also mentioned hearing it along Golf Links Road. I remember the cops saying that this was farther away from the original location, I'm assuming of East 32nd, but he would check it out anyway. Now, according to Google Maps, this is about a 30-minute drive from Nancy's home up in the Catalina foothills. Here is the second call.
It takes 90 seconds for this NASA-engineered AC cool down your room. It's smaller than a toaster.
Vehicles, and like they had a gun.
A little bit more information on the caller.
10-4. I'm checking the history now. They're saying they're in unit, and we're seeing this from their window.
So I narrowed this time slot down from 2:38 in the morning to 2:40. So a 2-minute window, basically. Now, this was reported at an apartment complex on St. Mary's Road. So okay, let's go back. The woman screaming, that call was reported at around 2:25 to 2:29. The masked subject's call was reported at 2:39 to 2:40. So if the first call was made at around 2:25 to 2:29, the second call was made at around 2:39 to 2:40, that would be about 14 minutes or 14 or 15 minutes, give or take. Depends on how fast you're driving and the traffic or whatever. Now, with that said, I wanted to focus on something that Chris McDonough said and align it with that woman screaming call. So Chris said something very interesting in the latest episode of The Interview Room. This was the episode that aired on May 31st. It was when Chris and Karen got back from CrimeCon, and they were going over, the Nancy Guthrie driveway. Really good episode. So at the time code of 4623, Chris is talking about a cardiologist that he met. He says, we had a cardiologist in the group last night. The cardiologist is someone who's been in the business for 40 years. And Nancy's pacemaker, he said, the cardiologist said that Nancy's pacemaker spiked for a reason. The cardiologist told Chris that the spike meant that Nancy potentially had a cardiac arrest in that moment. He said the doctor gave them some education on the pacemaker that Nancy had. The first part was that the pacemaker itself creates a defib to keep the heart moving. The second part, if the heart is about ready to have a heart attack, the pacemaker is designed like paddles to basically shock the heart. Chris said that the doctor told him that's likely what happened to Nancy when it disconnected at 2:28 a.m. And it meant not that it disconnected from her watch or her Bluetooth, or that she was even at home when it disconnected, but rather the disconnection meant that it registered a cardiac event and the pacemaker responded by giving a shock. So according to available information, Nancy's pacemaker disconnected at what time? 2:28, right? That is around the same time that woman was reported screaming on East 32nd. Because based on my best estimate, that call of the woman screaming was sometime between 2:25 to 2:29.
So, I mean, there's another theory on the pacemaker thing that it was a shock and not an upload, but very interesting time coincidence between the screaming lady and that happening.
Yeah, I believe. What's the other thing? Not a pacemaker, is a defibrillator. I think the pacemaker actually keeps the rhythm, and the defibrillator is actually the one that does the shock.
The shocking.
If I'm not mistaken.
I feel like it's that.
Curious.
Yeah, the ICD.
All right, that's a defibrillator. Is that like a combination of both?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know they made that. I thought it was either
yes,
or.
And so
Very interesting. So I wonder if we know for a fact that her phone was at her house when this cardiac event happened.
No, I think we only know her phone was at her house when the police showed up.
Alive or alive. They're just
I mean, her phone
constantly
has that
sending the signal
information.
to keep your heart pacing at a certain beats per minute. So whenever because I watched that episode and I disagreed with it because none of us do, so per se.
Right. Yeah, it's hard. We don't know what's factual. There's to me, not many facts at all.
Right? Everything is so much speculation and reported a little differently by so many people and different options that it could be.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the things that we're hearing is just what Annie and Tommaso told the police.
Right? Yeah. What the narrative was originally like given and then just reworked. You watch other crime stories on TV or YouTube, and it's crazy the amount of differences that happen in this case with other cases. You know, like you see police coming and laying flowers at memorials, and you see full families up there giving press releases, and there's none of it in this case.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, is there more of the video, or when did this video
I
come
can
out?
play. It is. I'm on full screen. The details.
I see. It's 20.
Now, are the two connected? Again, there's no way to know, but the timeline, I guess it does kind of raise some questions. Okay, so a few minutes later at around 2:38 to 2:40 was the call about the masked subjects outside the home. So this was on St. Mary's Road. The dispatcher says that the caller texted 911 and reported several subjects in masks breaking into cars. One of them had a gun. The cop then asks for clarification during the call, and the dispatcher responds with,
"Have you ever seen a product that transforms any ordinary space into..."
The dispatcher responds with a commercial. There we go. Oh, it's muted.
Oh.
asks for clarification during the call, and the dispatcher responds with,
I'm checking the history now. They're saying they're in unit and we're seeing this from their window.
now the dispatcher says that the caller, who they claim was a child, saw masked people outside their window, quote, breaking into cars. My question then became, was there actual evidence that cars were being broken into that night? Is it possible that the 911 caller believed maybe they were witnessing people in masks breaking into cars, but maybe what they were really witnessing were maybe masked people with guns, with a gun, switching vehicles, maybe regrouping, maybe moving between locations? At this point, we don't know. I was not able to find any follow-up scanner traffic for that call, so I really can't make any determination. For all we know, it could have been masked people that were breaking into cars and they caught them that night. So we won't know ultimately what was discovered from that. So finally, I have a question for you guys, okay? How predictable are your driving routes? And I know I showed you guys the map. I want to kind of make sense of that route that I put up there. So these are the 4 locations that I am showing you. The Nancy's home where the car was spotted, the woman screaming, and then the masked subjects. So you can see that route there, right?
So, pause it at a bad part. This is the map. And then if we looked at the map from Patriot, right? I think this furthest black arrow to the left is where Patriot's map gets zoomed into more. I'll press play again, so hopefully she talks a little more about it. But something about this video and seeing that really resonated with me. Like, okay, so if she was abducted and if she was taken by 3 masked men, I mean, we saw the porch guy, he was one and he had a pew. So, you know, maybe they were switching cars. And if that was the case, then maybe they dropped evidence somewhere, disposed of something in that area. And maybe we can get Nick to go there.
The Nancy's home where the car was spotted.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's Nancy's house up top, right?
Yeah, Nancy's house is way up top. And then I can't remember what the other one was. That I think where the cars were, maybe she was marking that.
Does she explain that in the video?
I think she just, I think.
The woman screaming and then the masked subjects. So you can see that route there, right? So again, let me for you guys, okay?
Sorry, everyone.
How predictable are your driving routes? And I know I showed you guys the map. I want to kind of make sense of that route that I put up there. So these are the 4 locations that I am showing you. The Nancy's home where the car was spotted, the woman screaming, and then the masked subjects. So you can see that route there, right? So again, let me get back to my question. How predictable are your driving routes? Like when you go to work, when you leave your house and you go to work, when you leave your house and you go to Walmart or Target or wherever you go, do you take the same route every time? Or do you take a different route every time? I think it's safe to say most of us, I know I do, take the same route to work every day. If I go to the store, I take the same route. I think it's safe to say that a lot of people might take the same route. So I did a quick Google search, okay? Stay with me. I did a quick Google search, nothing too deep, about driving routes, people's likeliness to take the same route to and from locations that they travel to. So do you guys want to hear something really, really interesting? There's this thing, let me try to say it. Geographic familiarity. I could not say that word, familiarity. I read an article by Psychology Today titled Flocking to the Familiar Under Stress. Let that be the operative word, under stress. Flocking to the Familiar Under Stress by Dr. Cian Blaylock. The article's from 2011, so it's kind of a few years old. Basically, the article is talking about how when people are under stress, if they're driving, they tend to go to familiar places. So something that might feel familiar, like an old neighborhood or an old high school or in an old home that we used to live in, it feels familiar. Like if we're in a stressful situation or we're trying to get away from something, we kind of go there. So basically the article is saying we constantly have to make decisions when we're stressed out. So what predicts the choices that we make? And then it says, as it happens under pressure, we desire what is familiar. So if we're under pressure, and if we're driving, say that we have to go somewhere to get away from something, we want to drive to somewhere that's familiar. And then it went on to say that under stress, the brain relies heavily on predictable surroundings to lower cognitive load, regulate emotions, and restore mental resources. People often go back to what they know. In high stress situations, familiar neighborhoods can feel safer because they already know the roads, the shortcuts, the surroundings, the back roads, all that stuff. I think this is a conversation better suited for like Dr. Gary Bricotto, somebody that's an expert in psychology. I'm just going off of an article that I found on Google, but I'm trying to make a point with this, I guess, because I don't even know if I'm understanding this phenomenon of geographic familiarity. I don't even know if I'm understanding it correctly. So it could mean something completely different. But anyway, I said all that to say this. So according to public records from 2010 to 2025, guess who used to live in that home?
All right, so I got my HESIT in mail. I'm gonna open it up and show you how it looks. I've heard
All that to say this. So according to public records from 2010 to 2000.
So here, this is, I guess, the
Guess
same
who
map.
used to live in that home? Yeah, you guessed it.
That Patriot Pride put out.
NT. So that is a walking distance. It's only 3 minutes away from where the masked intruders were seen. It's about a 25-minute drive from where the woman was heard screaming. Now that's their former home. Okay, so I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not suggesting that anybody's maybe was under intense stress that night and needed to kind of get away and they didn't know where to go. So in order to remove that cognitive load, maybe they drove to somewhere that felt familiar. I'm not suggesting that any of that happened. I'm not suggesting that if maybe somebody did that, maybe they did because the last hour prior to that driving was intensely stressful. I'm not suggesting that anybody left the scene of something bad and didn't know where to go. Maybe this wasn't planned out and the
So, I don't know. She makes some good points. I like her. I think it was you, Mystic, that showed me her like a month or so ago. But yeah, I like how she lays things out like that.
And she really does her research. I mean, she goes back and she just digs and digs, and she reminds me of Daphne in a way.
Right? Yes, I'd agree with that.
Takes it very serious.
Yeah. So I have Google Maps.
Let's see. Wow, look at that truck. Looks like it's.
I know, right?
It's like, are we going back in time?
Go Richard Nolet's truck. Yeah, right? I think we got to go this way on the street. But so this is where approximately where that red pin was on the street. So I'm assuming this was maybe where Annie and Tommaso's house was, or either where the 911 call was. Did anyone catch which one we think was?
Where that red pin was where Annie and Tommaso used to live.
Okay, so that's where we are now. They are somewhere on this street, and we're lined up. When you look at like this map, see, this was the intersection, and then here was the other one on this street. So it kind of lined up with this and just a little bit over, so somewhere here. So I was just kind of like looking along it and being like, is there somewhere you could throw stuff out on this street? There's lots of like little side bushes along the road as we go down. There's piles of dirt and stuff. Now, this is not the street. This is the side. Oh yeah, this is the street. So then we want to turn, excuse me, kid, down this street and see, like, again, there's lots of like garbages along the way here by this, like, I think green tarp there. There was somewhere that I saw like garbage bins. Maybe not there. I was like, there's nowhere like obvious dump spots, but there are like these little bits of rocks right here, you know, things like that I'd be like, could there be a broken up Nest camera somewhere mixed in these side bushes, mixed in the rocks?
Right.
It's kind of hard to say.
And is there any advantage? I mean, look at the area. I'm not saying anything bad about the area, but you know, it
Yeah, this is where
run down in a way.
Yeah, not where they
Some
live now,
abandoned-
right?
Right. Could there be an abandoned building out there, or
Right? See lots of like junk piles, lots of work trucks. The homes are very close to the road.
so I doubt anything
then-
happened on the street.
And then this is now the corner where the Black Arrow was. And this is a restaurant. And as we can see right here in this corner, there's a dumpster back there. So that's not
there's a
good.
hearse.
If that's
Look at the hearse.
right.
But that's
This
not a
is
good sign.
X marks the spot right in front of us. That you know.
This is a whole different show, y'all.
Right? Google is giving us the way. So somewhere here is where the guys were supposedly breaking into cars, I guess, and the kid saw it
Yeah.
and called 911. So I
And
mean,
like she said, they not necessarily breaking into cars. They could have been doing a little
Right.
swap.
yeah, they match the same description. It's around the same time frame, and heck, how many people? Because there's that guy running around since 7 p.m. in the one mask that was coming up from down in Tucson towards the Catalina foothills, and now here we are at 3 a.m. 3 masked men after there was a masked man on Anthony's porch. Like in a matter of how many hours, there's all these masked men running around.
And they could have just been ducking and hiding behind a car. I know that if I saw something like that, I would think they were trying to break into it.
Right? What are you doing around the cars, right? Exactly. And I mean, there is still a 5% chance that the porch guy was just a porch pirate come to see it. Like Nancy, we all know how many packages Nancy got, and that she had posted in December that she was missing a package. So there's a chance that porch guy didn't even come to take Nancy, that he was there for her packages and breaking into cars along the street. And it's just another coincidence in this whole case.
Possible.
But yeah, so I mean, looking through it, there's nothing that's obvious that like, oh, I could dump evidence here, right? It's very built up. There's nowhere that's like a abandoned lot. However, there are still like bushes and stuff that I guess. Although you'd think if you were going to dump evidence, a restaurant dumpster back there might be a great place to get rid of it.
Yeah, and we're not necessarily talking about a body, but you know, like the Nest camera, like or anything else, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Their
like
clothing,
the
you know,
mask,
like,
the
you know, land-
clothing. Yeah,
Mhm.
the stuff you're going to want to not keep driving in your perp outfit, right? So yeah,
Right.
you're going to want to distribute these things and get them out of your possession. You definitely, after the fact, wouldn't want to get caught with Nancy's camera, so you'd want to get rid of it.
Right. It's an interesting area, really.
Yes,
to
right?
Look at. Like you said, the houses. It looks like everything's close to the road.
Right? Yeah. How did more people not see those three guys? And then, like, were they breaking into work trucks, stealing tools? Or it doesn't, you know, like, it's not a high end area where you're going to think that all the cars are filled with change and gift cards and things for the car hoppers.
Now, not to keep going on about Annie and Tommaso, you know, being in on anything, but I'm curious if this is on the way to Nancy's from their house or the other way around. Like, where do they?
It's souther of everything. I think their new house would kind of be above this. Let me see if I can bring back up that one map. Oh, I don't even think that would have it on it. If we went back in her thing. Nope. Oh, it's too close. That one.
It's very, very curious.
I think that like their new house is relatively above this, but then closer in level to like the Catalina foothills. But like if you went straight up from the red arrow, I think that's where their new house is by the other map that Annie put out. So I think their new house is like somewhere in here.
Right. So if that's Annie's at the top, I mean Nancy's.
Yeah, I think
thought
it's
they
somewhere
lived
because the Tucson Mall. I think that they lived over here or something.
I think DJ knows.
DJ, do you know?
DJ knows like like the direction. So she was near the Tucson Mall.
I think like above it, maybe,
Is
but
that
over
the-
that way.
Is the Tucson Mall the little plaza where everybody would park?
Yes.
So the streamers would park there and then walk to Nancy's?
Yeah.
Okay,
I think so.
Trying to figure out this route. So yeah, she'd be right around there. Indian Masa was 2 miles. I'm just trying to figure out if this back road's leading from somewhere. And what was the black arrow on this one?
Screaming Lady, one of the Screaming Lady reports. There was one on North Oracle, and then this one was on I think East 32nd and something about Gulf Links Road.
I'm so bad at maps.
DJ.
I am. I'm so bad at, I mean, I could get lost in my backyard, guys. I'm not even kidding.
Took the wrong ladder coming out of the pool.
But yeah, no kidding. Find my way down the damn ladder.
You need to get a slide for exit.
Yeah, no shit. Oh my god. So, but this is interesting. And I'd like to see this compared to where Nancy and
Where Annie Massa's house is, yeah.
I would really like to see that. I don't know how to do that, but I'm sure I can write down the street names and
Yeah, and then bring it up on a new map.
I'm just curious. It could be like back roads or
Right, there has to be like that you could put in from this to that.
All right. So the black arrow is the lady screaming. The red arrow is
the 3 masked men.
And then the very top was what?
The very top is Nancy's house.
Nancy's house. All right, 3 masked men, lady screaming. I want to take a snippet of this real quick before you get rid of it.
For sure.
Yeah, anybody else want to do that? Go for it. This is interesting. And I can't find my snippet tool. I lost that too. Oh my god.
Hold your phone up to the screen.
That's what I'm getting ready to do right now. All right. Got it. All right. Trying to look in the chat, see what everybody's talking about in here.
And then this is the close up of just the 3 masked men and then their first house, their old house. If anybody wanted to see the road names better.
All right, I'll take a picture of that too.
Canada isn't just pretty.
Got it.
It's more coincidences, right? Because, like, why would there be, you know, of course, on this night, 3 masked men with a pew pew would, of course, be in their neighborhood, old neighborhood, you know, like, just more coincidences. And it still baffles me how Nanos could write off the screaming lady so fast, you know, like, just to say that has nothing to do with it. He could have, if they had made an arrest in these cases, or it's already, you know, solved in a sense of who the screaming lady was it a woo girl? But usually if people are like hanging out of a car window screaming, they don't have the door open. Like, you know, if it's fun screaming, like, woo, it's different than opening a car door being like, help me, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. This is just, it's all so creepy. The thought of that being her.
Oh, I hope not.
Hanging out of the car screaming for help. It breaks my heart. It really does. And they're talking about the air tag in the plants that
DGL? Yeah.
Where was that hotel? Where was that hotel it was pinging at?
River and Campbell, maybe River and something for sure.
Something in there, yeah.
It was the Hilton guest suites or Hilton something.
I mean, what are the chances that the perpetrator is staying close?
Yeah, right.
What are the chances that? I mean, I actually heard rumor that Annie and Tommaso were in that hotel.
Oh yeah.
But then I hear they're in Italy, so I don't know.
Right? I can't, like, let's go to Italy. I mean, I guess a change of scenery if your mom is missing, but feeling unresolved, I'd be canceling my trip even if it was booked a year in advance, you know, like.
Yeah.
My mom is still missing. Why are we going to Italy?
Or is someone just using that? Well, I mean, they weren't in the dumpster, so it's almost like they found the air tag and just threw the air tag in. I don't know what to think.
Yeah, right?
It's all over the place, and I mean, how some of these streamers can come up with the research they're doing amazes me. Like how they
yes.
And I saw one about a cousin. Actually, I saw a part of it, a clip of it, I think yesterday. Or maybe the day before, about a cousin that came down 2 days before she went missing. They needed money because they were losing their business. Their business.
That color, yes.
There's no proof of this. This person says they have proof from an attorney general or something like that. I don't know, but there's no proof in that. But you know, what if somebody was in the casino, whatever you call that thing, guest house. Someone was in there. There had to have been. I mean, the trash bag or the blanket or whatever. What is it? You know?
Yeah, like the floor was, the rug seemed to be messed up. The curtains were, you know, like for an immaculate home, why wouldn't your casita also be immaculate unless someone else was staying in it? And then you think, well, Cameron, you'd think he would be cleaner being a military man, that tight corners just like his mom. And
right. And then supposedly he wasn't even here. He flew down from whatever's.
Right, but was there when Savannah got here.
Now he has a private plane or something.
Could be. He is a pilot, right?
Yeah.
So he might be able to just fly to his local airport, get in his own plane, and.
Or was someone staying there and she didn't even know it?
Well, and also, On 857's, whenever he played the video from him being there on February 2nd, that old white car was out there parked in front of it.
Yeah,
And
that
then
was
we haven't seen that car since.
The
that
white
was
car?
Cameron's car. Yeah, that white car was Cameron's car.
So did he, I mean, because Savannah didn't come in on the 1st. I don't, you know, like,
Yeah, it was after, like, say, the 2nd or the 3rd, because yeah, Nanos gave that night interview, and I don't think he said that Savannah wasn't in town yet.
That's odd.
right. So then, yeah, that's very odd because it's like, well, so was he there before? Or did he just show up that day? But I think if I remember correctly, Tucson was out there quite early on the 2nd. Like,
Yeah, he was there. I think he said he saw the like news at noon and then went out there.
yeah.
And it was
So
like,
I just don't think that would have given him enough time to fly in and drive down there.
right. And Savannah said when right, that like Cameron on the phone was when he was like, yeah, sweetie, it could be you, you know, because of you. Like, so were they having 3-way phone calls at that point, or was he already, like, was he there when he said that, or did he just throw that out there like, you're famous, it's your fault, sweetie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all really odd. Really odd.
Yeah. There's so many different corners and coincidences and nothing to do with.
I am actually going to join on my phone.
Okay.
So I can get off of this computer chair for a while. My ass is asleep, so
Now,
join my phone and stand up.
I thought of something else I wanted to talk about. Well, I was away. We don't have a Nest camera. We have a D-Link, and it's also without a subscription. So the first few days we were away, I was constantly getting notifications that a human was detected inside my apartment. A human was detected. And I kept like looking, and it doesn't show you, right? Like, I guess they say if you don't catch it, and originally you don't get a photo with it, but I kept saying a human's detected. So I kept tuning into the live feed camera, and it's like, okay, well, it's detecting a ghost. There's no one in my apartment. I can clearly see on my camera right now. But we had left the TV on and the fan was on, and it was like a day or 2 days before the TV shut off. I don't know why it didn't go into sleep mode, but it kept triggering. And so it kept saying human detected. And that was the same as what was on Nancy's. They said right at 2:12, a human is detected. There was never a human on my cameras. It also disconnected a few times. So I get a notification that says your camera has disconnected, which is just like what happened in Nancy's at 1:47, the camera disconnected. Most of the time, a few minutes later, I would get a notification that said your camera reconnected at like, you know, a couple minutes later. We're not often away. So to have it on the phone, we're not like used to the notifications, but I kept getting these, you know, like camera disconnected, human detected in my home. And I kept tuning in and being like, there's no human in my home. But it made me think like of how easy it is actually for these cameras to send these notifications like we heard about that Nancy got, and actually have it not relate to anything.
Yeah.
Wind or noise, or I guess the ghost in my apartment.
And they pick up everything. The camera I have
Right.
in my mom's room it's a cheap little, it's called Casa or something like that. I think I got it for $20 off Amazon. I pay $3 a month just to, like, you know, so I can get it on my phone and watch when I'm not at home. But yeah, it picks up the TV light and it'll say motion was detected just from her TV.
Yeah,
So
you know,
it picks up
so
everything. I know they got more video than what they got.
they must, right? And like the notifications they put out to us after this week mean less to me because I was getting those same notifications and nothing was happening in my apartment every time I tuned in.
Yep. So it's like my phone goes off 50 times. My mom is not a very active person. She's She's in bed,
Right?
you
It's
know,
like,
most of the
yeah,
day, and I must get 100 notifications a day that motion was detected. It's not her; it's just the light changing, on the
right from the
bed or the
commercial, or
wall.
yeah, a
Yeah,
window, a cloud goes by, or yeah,
yeah.
I was getting so many notifications. So for them to even include them in our evidence, it just means less to me this week now, because like at first everyone was saying, oh, a human detected. Well, it's likely that the camera knows the difference between a javelina or a human, but in my
Right.
experience, yeah, it was just detecting a ghost or the TV or the fan movement and calling it a human.
So there was more cameras than just that
More
one at the front
Camerons
door.
too.
So if they were able to pull that from that one, what were they able to pull from the other ones? I feel that there's so much more they have and they're just not telling us. And they don't have to tell us.
Right.
I
I mean, yeah,
understand.
they have to keep something from
Yeah, I understand that, they don't want to blow it. If they blow it, there's never going to be justice. So
Yeah.
I get that they're not telling us, but do you think they did pull something from these other cameras?
Did anyone see monks pointing out the droopy cactus?
The what?
The cactuses outside the front of the house. So monks did an episode this week where the potted cactus that's kind of right behind where he bends down to pick up the plants to put over the camera. There's two cactuses in a pot, and he pointed out that in the video they're standing straight up, but in the still image, I think that's the way it is, or vice versa. In the still image, the one cactus is standing straight up and one's drooped right over. And he was saying that it would take like a week or so, a week to 3 weeks for a cactus to like droop or undroop. Someone had said maybe it was the pH in the soil and the gardener could have fixed that and it like came back to life or something. But yeah, he was pointing that out.
So it was the same plant at different times?
That's what he's saying. Yeah, that it appears that maybe the still is a different time. But then why would the camera have one photo from 1 to 3 weeks ago and then a video from the night it happened and no other images in between? That doesn't make sense. Google must have retrieved more images.
They have to have something. They have to have something. And
Right?
if not on that Nest Cam, then on another camera. There was
Yeah.
a camera on the casita. There was one, I think, at the back of the
I think
house.
we've kind of seen the guy that looks like Cameron, that people are, that FBI guy that kind of looks like Cameron, that people are like, that's Cameron. And then, but he was collecting evidence with blue gloves on from the backyard. And then he had something in a plastic container. And then somebody this week has zoomed in on it. I can't remember if it was Sleuth or the interview room, who it was, somebody zoomed in on it and was like, wait, is that a camera?
Oh.
Here, I found the monks video, so I can share that with the
Interesting.
limp cactus. Monks and the limp cactus.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can do this from my phone.
Of
I
Overcast.
can
was
add
born
to
at
page.
So maybe
Nice.
that's why I was born into darkness. So I actually like darkness and cool, muggy weather. I also woke up this morning to a new Ashley Banfield video in which she's talking again about the Nancy Guthrie case. And it just feels like a gag order really has been lifted, on the three big channels, Megyn Kelly, Ashley, and Nancy Grace. I guess they're just going in again about this case after taking a hiatus for about a month. Now, we've talked about Brianna Whitney on this channel before in a positive way, because she did an interview with Sheriff Nanos in which, at least I felt, she could not hide her disdain for that man.
And we're working a bajillion hours a day, driving from Tucson to Phoenix back and forth every single day. I would stop and think, put yourself in Savannah Guthrie's shoes, because, oh my God, I feel so much for her, what they're going through, this being so public, and the fact that she is one of us. She's a journalist. She reports on these things. I cannot imagine, and that kind of helped keep me afloat during those times.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, in the work that we do, the reason that we do what we do is because there are savannas in every one of these
There
stories.
are savannas in every one of these crime stories. Now, I would just say that it would probably hit the nail too hard on the head if they were just to say, yeah, you know, you can't help but feel bad for Savannah and Cameron. So this is sort of an exercise in reading between the lines, I guess you could say, of tell me who you suspect it is without telling me who you suspect it is. So I'd like to give a special shout out to Daniel of the Drunk Turkey Show, who invited me on to discuss the Nancy Guthrie case the other night. And hey, I had a great time. You know, it felt like a very productive interview. One of the things that I'm hoping I had conveyed effectively that night is the importance of Nancy's devices in accordance to the timeline. Okay, so specifically that she did get home that night. And it was something that I really wanted to hammer home to Daniel's audience, that the mystery begins right after she is dropped off by family. So again, I'd like to thank Daniel for being such a brilliant host and making us all feel welcomed on history. One particular takeaway from talking with Daniel is the possibility that this image here, which most of us assumed is from another night, possibly January 11th, according to the FBI, might actually be from the same night. One of Daniel's compelling arguments to this point was a screenshot he showed me from another guest of his named Steve from True Crime Web. And he's a former CSI investigator and, of course, a very, very smart man. And he was able to isolate this image here by adding some filters, adjusting some levels. And I had to admit that the moment I looked at it, it was very convincing. But just the way I am, and plus in the world that we live in today, we can't trust anything we see with our own eyes. And I had to play with it myself. I won't go as far as to say that I debunked anything, okay, any of Steve's findings about that shoe. I'll just say that even though I found the exact same frame, I wasn't able to replicate that black pattern that you see there. I scrubbed the footage back and forth, and to me, it's just more pants. Similar to when people felt they saw a tattoo on the perp's wrist. We did the same thing. We scrubbed the video slowly back and forth and realized it was just more glove. And so I have to say that I am yet to be convinced that those are the same shoes. I kept that open mind, and it's because of Steve's screenshot that it made me think to myself, hey, why don't I just go in and see if I could figure out if that is actually the same night or not? And of course, knowing me,
with PowerBox Cleopatra, you could win big in store. And you could win big in the 100K draw. One ticket.
this mission, I started going over every detail, even the blurriest of artifacts. And I think I've pinpointed a very intriguing argument on why this solitary image, this backpackless, this crotch holsterless image provided by the FBI is actually not the same night. That it actually lends even better to it being multiple weeks beforehand. So allow me to set it all up for you so that it could make better sense. Now, I think we all could agree that if our eyeballs could see at night, like the infrared imaging of the Nest camera, that would be great. But there are limitations, such as the colors being lost, noisy, grainy, and artifacts alone could fool us and have fooled a lot of people into seeing something that's actually not there. Like the Nancy reflection in the porch light of her sitting down, tied up or whatnot. I can see what they're seeing, but I don't agree that that is what that is, which will answer anyone that may be wondering what I actually thought about that. So in order to be more confident about what's there or what's not there in this solitary image, I think a good way is to compare it with another image, also provided by the FBI, and play the fun game of spot the difference. Given this is a game where we want to be able to match things correctly, we're allowed to use a cheat sheet. Okay, so we're going to actually use footage taken by the media shortly after Nancy's abduction of her front walkway, her porch, to clearly identify certain objects that just look confusing, just a little too pixelated in the screenshots, right? A fairly simple concept, but we will find out that it is very effective. So let's go ahead and look at that solitary image again. Let's go ahead and bring in a one-to-one of that other image, and let's go ahead and play. So the first things I'm going to do is circle the important things that I feel are the same. Okay, so we have these 3 lights over here and 1 light here, and it seems to be emanating from the exact same house from the distance. In this image, there is also a secondary light here. Now, we could also argue these lights here and here, but given that that solitary image lacks a lot of details when it comes to distance in comparison to this other image, I feel we can't confidently say that those are actually differences. Now, there's also a little light peeking through here on both images, and so far, I guess we could say things are looking rather similar that night, if not the same, which would lead a lot of us to believe that we're looking at the same night. Okay, so moving on. Now, I'm pretty sure you've all noticed that we lost pretty much all the detail of Nancy's driveway in that solitary image. So let's start the game again right here with this plant, in which we can easily identify in News Nation's footage here as this plant on the right side of Nancy's walkway. Now, if we let the footage run just a little bit, then I'd like us to all identify this pot with 2 slender cacti planted within it. Now let's go back to the porch guy footage. That definitely is this pot here. Next to it is this little pot with another cactus growing, and we can identify it in both these images. And it looks great so far, to suggest that this is still the same night. But what fun would it be if there wasn't a twist in this image? Okay, so I'll give you guys a few more seconds to look. And for the extremely intrigued, hey, just go ahead and pause the video. Now go and strain your little eyeballs, because I will tell you, I believe I have found one critical difference. A clue that Mother Nature herself has left for us. So pause, I'll wait. So first, let's look at this image from the night that the crotch holster guy steps onto Nancy's porch. Now look at the pot from News Nation's footage again. Okay, you have one cactus standing tall, and then you have this other guy over here. He seems to be suffering a bit. He's not getting enough water, enough sunlight, whatever it may be, but he is starting to lean. Now, it's a bit hard to tell in which direction he is leaning, but allow me to expand on that. If we were to go by the angle of the pot, it's a rectangular, squarish pot, right? So that angle there that I'm going to mark for you, that is the direction that he is leaning. He is actually sort of facing towards the street. He is facing towards this flat leafy plant here. Please excuse me if I'm not a cactus expert, but what I'm trying to say is that it's leaning towards that big flat leafed succulent thing there. I remember someone commenting what that actually is. They said that that's an agave plant, which is not a true cactus. And I'll just say, hey, if you know that for a fact, then that is great. So we're going to call it an agave plant, and its role of just being there is rather important. And so just going back to that leaning cactus, okay, in the rectangular pot, the points are that it's leaning towards the agave plant at the angle of the pot. If we follow the base of this leaning cactus, we can actually confidently outline that very droopy cactus, the one that we see in the News Nation footage. I'm really hoping I've made my point very clear, because I'm going to take you back to the solitary image. And for everybody that paused the video, that possibly has computer eye strain at this point, do you see the difference now? Allow me to make it more clear if you're not seeing what we're seeing. So we are simply going to follow the base of that same plant, only now, as we follow it, you can see that he is just as upright as his pot partner at this point in time. Ladies and gentlemen, I do believe our leaning cactus in the solitary FBI image, it is still standing nice and tall and erect. I learned that it can take 1 to 4 weeks for a cactus to show noticeable signs of leaning, okay? And this is all going to depend on conditions. So it would be reasonable to say that it would take at least 1 week for a cactus to start slightly leaning. I would say that it would be even more likely that it would take, say, 3 weeks for a cactus to lean, that dramatically. I mean, we've all had our theories debunked in some way, shape, or form, because this case has a lot of moving parts and it's just confusing at times. So if this is messing with your same day theory, I could understand why it would be a bit hard to swallow. Okay, so allow me to just nudge you just a little more. Now I'm just gonna overlay both scenes together. And now that I've pointed out what to look for, I'm just gonna alternate the images. Just take a look. Wilted, unwilted, wilted, unwilted. And I really don't think a cactus is gonna start to wilt to that degree in the span of the porch guy being on Nancy's walkway, getting dressed up, crotch holster, coming back, and stepping onto her porch. That cactus is not doing that in that short amount of time. I feel like I made a fairly compelling argument here. And if you look even closer, I would even add that our lovely little agave plant is suffering as well from time, right? That he too is slightly wilting at this point as well. And so if you guys are on the same page as I am, of course, we're going to wonder, well, what does it mean then? Okay, for this to be 2 separate nights, right? Possibly 2 to 3 weeks apart. I will say it just strengthens our theory that the crotch holster guy was at Nancy's property a whole previous night. If we have proven that, then yeah, he was testing something, testing the cameras, doing a trial run, that he was gathering intel. Being that that was so many weeks out, that this was meticulously planned, right, in advance. And to use the reference coined by Gary Brucato of a chef and a waiter, to me at least, okay, because it appears to be the same guy on Nancy's walkway that we're actually looking at, I think that is the chef at this point. He's doing his own reconnaissance. He's gathering his own intel. He's the only guy that we know for sure to have existed. Now, I also like the idea of a partner, but that is a partner that is not going to get his hands dirty. He is going to get paid in another way, and he is merely the getaway driver. He's the one that takes Nancy away. But this here, I am starting to be convinced, is the chef. I also want to point out a brilliant point that Daniel from the Drunk Turkey Show made when I was on it that pretty much blew me away. That the positioning of the perp looked as though, he was ready to run, right? One leg out, one leg back, one arm forward, and he looks like he's about to bolt. And he gave a great reason of why he was positioned this way. He possibly could have been just nudging towards that camera. Once he triggered that Nest camera to detect him, the lights would go on. The lights are usually solid. They're static. But for some reason, the nerdy side of Daniel was able to figure out that a Nest camera, it will blink when someone on the other end on their phone or their app, most likely Nancy, if she is watching her Nest camera, that's when it's going to blink. Both very astute observations, right? It's an amazing piece of information to know about what that camera does when somebody's watching. We could assume that Nancy did not open her Nest camera app and see that nightmare on her walkway, because if she did, she's calling the police ASAP. This was a targeted abduction, because if the solitary image is just a run-of-the-mill criminal, okay, looking for a quick buck and failing to find a way into Nancy's house, he is moving to another house. Who in the world comes back to the same house 3 weeks later, dressed in almost the same getup to try again, right? If Nancy wasn't a target. And another thing that bugs me is that the porch guy footage in itself has no business existing. Okay. And I'm not talking about Google's ability to recover, that footage. I'm saying the porch guy saw what is on that porch, a camera and a security door. He should have never stepped back onto that porch. Now that I feel we've proven that these are on 2 separate nights, why not look for an easier, I could say less conspicuous route? The back doors. So the fact that we even get to see this fella on the front porch again tells me he either has the memory of a goldfish, or because he meant for us to see him there. But monks, lest you forget, Nancy had no subscription. How could he count on the footage being retrieved by Google and the FBI then? Okay, if he's doing this on purpose, to be seen. And I'm so glad you asked that, my friend, because I don't think the porch guy counted on the footage being retrieved either. He was solely counting on events being created by Nancy's Nest app, which it will pretty much create thumbnails and keep whether you have a subscription or not. He was banking on solitary images, just like this one, just like that one, which I do believe were event thumbnails created for anyone with access to Nancy's phone notifications to see. I am really feeling that the porch guy didn't count on actual video footage to be retrieved. This would reveal his gait, his mannerisms, so many more aspects of him than he ever wanted us to see. So the next natural question would be, then why did he want to be seen? And that's simply because of what's awkwardly placed on his private region, right? It's pretty much showcased like an adorned crotch of honor. Like why am I moving? At this point, after viewing this footage so many hundreds of times, to me,
all giggled.
he is basically saying, look, guys, look at me. Make no mistake of what I am. I am a masked gunman here to kidnap Nancy Guthrie. And after that, what do the police find when they arrive on the scene? Nancy's blood on the porch. And what does the media receive shortly after that? They receive 2 ransom notes that the FBI, even Savannah, believe are real, in which the second note says that Nancy is dead, perished, buried in nature, no longer mentioning anything about money or ransom. And now just think about that. Think about that very, very hard, because there is an epiphany for you if it hasn't occurred to you yet. The note isn't sent secretly through avenues such as the Pima County Sheriff's Department or even the FBI, who have been known to be very tight-lipped about this type of correspondence. They send this note to a local news station in Tucson. And what do news outlets want to do all the time? They're always on the hunt for late breaking news. So what are they going to do when they receive a ransom letter in the Nancy Guthrie case? Well, for one, they're going to want to reveal it for the world. But KOLD is very responsible. So I give them kudos to that. They shared it with the police and the FBI. Never truly disclosed exactly what the notes said. A lot of us, I'm sure, have mulled over this letter, right? What kind of ransom doesn't ask for a ransom and is basically a statement to give us information about the status of Nancy Guthrie? And if you guys are anything like me, right, a lawn chair detective, we lose sleep over these things. When things don't make much sense at all. And I've mulled over this letter in the dark of night, and it still doesn't make sense. But I have come up with one reason that makes the most sense to me. And that was this letter writer really, really wanted to get the word out there of Nancy's death. This person wanted that word to spread to the right ears, I would assume. Okay. And they're not asking for money in that second note, which to some people makes it appear genuine, I guess, right? Just a simple statement in poetic language of Nancy's demise, which sounds to me that the culprit or culprits are cutting their losses, right? They're getting out of the game before it's too late, before they're caught. Nothing left to gain. And that in itself is the puzzling nature of this very act. Because don't you just stay quiet? Why even open up this channel for communication? Why risk sending in a note simply to inform the family and the world that Nancy Guthrie is dead? Okay, a kidnapper is going to do this. If the only prize left is stupid, the only prize left is prison, actual bad guys just abandon ship, hoping never to be seen or found. So let's go ahead and add all this equation together. Okay, so you have a masked gunman plus the victim's blood on the porch plus an inexplicable note just to say that Nancy is dead, which makes me want to recite a little bit of Arizona law. How Arizona treats a missing person case when there is no body. So the standard wait, okay, before someone is declared dead is 5 continuous years with no evidence that they are alive. However, there can be an expedited declaration if there is clear and convincing evidence that the person is dead, such as signs of violence, such as blood on the porch, images of a gunman, and a note declaring that Nancy is buried in nature. And I must admit that I am no math wizard, but even I can add up that equation. My name is Monks. When there is no...
So I thought we can put it on that for a minute there. Leave it there for a second. But yeah, what does everybody think about that? The cactus drooping, that was quite a catch. I don't know if that could be solely because, say, in the first picture, maybe as they're looking around the house, could they have broken that cactus or damaged it? Is that why it's more leaning later on? Would it lean that fast? I seen you guys in chat talking about like your aloes in the morning sun versus the hot afternoon sun. Do we think that we can assume both images are from nighttime, I guess? So unless one is earlier in the night and it's drooping because it was hot, and then say the still image is like 4 a.m. or something, and it's starting to recoup because it's had all night to cool down and it's standing again. I'm not too sure. What does everybody else think?
I think it's completely different days.
Right? I mean, I didn't before, but this now has been like, oh wow, maybe it is completely different days, because that's I mean, I don't think, like, unless the cactus was damaged, like they ran into it or hit it, but then at that same time, could the cactus have perp DNA on it, leaning there all droopy and getting rained on now in monsoon season? But could it have had DNA if they ran into it and broke it and that's why it drooped? For the video picture, I don't know. But I was like, whoa.
And then you got, does the porch guy want to be seen? Or does he actually know that it's not recording?
I really felt the first time, like when we first saw this video, that it was put on. Like, I am a very scary man. Look at me in my mask and with my crotch holster and the whole thing. It was like, I am a perp, you know, like if an undercover cop was portraying a bum and they'd have their grocery cart full of cans, or, you know, the classic back in the day, stick over the shoulder, you know, type of, you know, like, I'm a bum, just nothing to see here. So then is that like, I kind of felt like they wanted to be seen, like, I'm a perp.
Right.
But
And then
yeah,
I also
that's
have the
my
question,
opinion.
like, the blood. The blood bothers me. I don't know. Is there a chance she could have been
Patriot.
missing before this, and that
Yeah, Patriot talked more about the blood too, about it,
he
how it could
somehow
be
maybe?
staged.
I don't know. I think he wanted to be seen because she was already gone. It was part of making it look like a kidnapping.
Yes,
I don't
that's
feel like it
kind
was
of
a
what I felt.
kidnapping.
No, but
Part
like,
of
I'm
me
a
just
bad
don't feel
guy
like
and
she was
I'm
kidnapped.
here. Well, why wouldn't they have images of her being kidnapped, you know, like, or something? Just,
I don't know. And I wonder if there's
or
a way
like,
for them to tell how old that blood is.
yeah, from what I understand, no. That like on Duty Ron, Ed Wallace, he's does a lot of CSI work, retired, like, cop, still does work with law enforcement today, so he's not that retired. I think he teaches a lot. So he said there's no way to tell how long it's been there, just that it's been there long enough to dry, like, so over the 45 minutes to an hour that made it dry. But they can't tell if it's been there 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or 9 hours. The only way that they have to be able to tell that is eyewitness accounts. So then again, we're relying on the family's narrative. Or I was wondering if, like, Amazon delivery, you know how they take a picture of your package when it's on the porch? Hopefully the cops could go back and see on Nancy's phone all the packages delivered. Was the blood there days before that, you know?
Right. Because I keep going back to, and I can't remember where I've seen it because it's been like probably a month now, where Savannah Guthrie did that interview and was upset because she hadn't got to talk to her mom, because it was always something going on with her. And that last excuse when she called to talk to her
Body.
was that
So the
she had
standard
throat
weight,
cancer.
okay, before someone
Yeah,
is
I remember
declared
you.
dead is
Sorry, everybody, hit my earphone and I press play. I never saw that interview, but yeah, I've been interested since you said you saw it, because yeah, that it's weird, right? She getting the runaround to be like, what? Like, you know, why can't I talk to mom? Where is mom? What is happening with mom?
It makes me think she was gone before this.
And that this was just their opportunity.
You know, and like, I don't know, something, and they're trying to make it look like a kidnapping. I don't know.
Right? I thought the blood could be from, like, they say she was mobile when she had the dog and she walked around the neighborhood. And then we've heard that the dog died in December. And then in January, she can't walk to the end of the driveway only on a good day to get her mail. So I'm like, did she fall one day walking the dog, or coming in from getting the mail on the porch and, like, you know, scrape up her elbow or her arm, or cut her head, or break a hip? I know she didn't break a hip, but hurt her back, you know, like, in her mobility. And is that what caused her to no longer be mobile? And they just never cleaned it up because, oh, and now it's very convenient. Look at the blood on the porch. Oh yeah, look at all the blood on the porch.
Right. Oh, there's so many directions my mind
Right?
goes.
Yeah.
It's insane. So I'm
Right,
curious,
well-
what do you think about Laws? What do you think?
Well, and also too, so going back to the timeline, right? And believing that their timeline isn't accurate. And I believe what Nanos was saying in that first day or two about family arriving at 11 a.m. is more accurate than them getting there at the 11:56, 11:57 timestamp, because I believe it was in Juanita's first stream with the scanner calls. And one of those scanner calls makes a comment about family had been there since 11. It's saying something about them being there since 11 or something like that. And so I think that goes to prove that they really were there for almost, or for a little over an hour before they even called 911. So if you're that concerned, what are you doing in that hour? I don't know. It's
Right.
just,
And if, if you have an elderly relative that you know is home or should be home, it only takes you a matter of just a couple minutes to realize they're not in the house. You check the bathroom, the kitchen, the bedroom, you run out to the backyard. That doesn't take no time at all to realize that they're missing. And if you see the blood on the front porch, that's why I almost wonder how long that blood has been there, because it didn't seem to be, oh my God, there's blood. It didn't seem like a big deal at all to anyone.
right. And I mean, I guess we don't know really how much is accurate or what people are just, saying, but if that front door was locked, then was it ever opened that night?
Right.
And so did they go in through the garage when they went to go check on her? Did they go in through the back door? I don't know. Like you said, it just like there's so many directions, and it's unfortunate for Nancy because I don't know and I know they have a lot more information, but then it's like, okay, well, what's taking so long? And I think a lot of what's taking so long is that they're really trying to connect the dots to the main person, but maybe they haven't been able to do that just yet. And so they only know what I would call the minions that were involved there and on camera. But maybe they know there's more to it, and so they're trying to get the proof before they even
I really hope so. Yeah, I really hope
to
so.
build the case. They have to build that case. If they screw up one little thing, and there's not going to be a prosecution at all. It won't stick, and the guy will get away. So I do truly believe, and I don't get mad because we don't hear the evidence in the behind the scenes things. I know that they have to hold that information back. I know how that works. But I think what irritates me is there's zero communication with the public in that area. It seems like, at least come out and say something. Say, we're still waiting on this, we're still waiting on that,
Shouldn't we be hearing about the DNA soon? Like, I'm sure that was over 2 months ago that it went to the FBI. I'm not sure of an exact date, if anybody can remember when that happened. But at that point, Cece, that was on, I think, Brian and she goes on a few other shows. But she had said that for the hair with no root and the mixed blood sample now being with the FBI, that we would have to wait 2 to 3 months. Well, we must be nearing that 3 months soon as we near the 6 months. I'm sure it's been 2 months or going to be 2 months since the FBI got that.
I think it was back in April.
Right?
So yeah, I think we're getting close to the end of the 3rd month.
Like we should be getting an answer soon. And I mean, hopefully they get a break in the case. Hopefully it proves something. It would be great if they actually got foreign DNA or proved that hair was from someone outside of the family, point any direction. Because if it just comes back as nobody that shouldn't have been in that house, well, that doesn't prove anything. We're all still left speculating like we are.
And will they tell us if it does come back and
Right.
it's not, that doesn't belong to anyone?
Yeah, well, that should be the moment they start officially referring to it as a cold case. Because like Nano keeps saying, it's not a cold case until we don't get any results from the hair and the DNA.
My thing is he should have never cleared anyone either.
Right?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Until the case is solved, I think everybody should remain a suspect.
Yeah, it was that to put suspects at ease so that they maybe make mistakes. I start to then go down rabbit holes and wonder, were the streamers that Savannah said were chasing her and Annie around, and were those even streamers? Were they undercover units surveilling them and not streamers?
Yeah.
Because I never saw a streamer at their house.
At the beginning, they were onto something. The shit with Carlos down in Rio Rico, it just
all of that, like within days, everything happening the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, and then
they
nothing
don't bring out
since Friday.
SWAT unless they're really on something. You know what I mean? So I just wonder.
That's what I was about to say. Like, what judge is going to sign off for something that big to occur on two different houses in such a short span if they didn't have some type of, like,
right? And in that same time frame, they were also
was,
back at Annie's taking samples too, taking those photos with the luminol at night, or what we assume to be luminol.
yes, and the thing, they released the car from Luke within a couple of days.
So fast,
Why?
right?
Yeah. So why do they keep A&T's vehicle?
Right? And did they even ever like impound Carlos's? I know, like, their warrant. I think when they were looking for medical devices or something in his car. And then, but like, I think they just pulled him over and searched his mother-in-law's house and then just like let everybody go, right? Like, they didn't even keep his car.
I don't think so.
Not as long as Annie's car. They kept
No,
that
right?
car for 40-something days.
Right. And then what, like, we're to assume, I don't know the year of their car, but there was a lot of talk that like cars, say before 2017, don't have the GPS. So if their car was like a 2014 or something, which I was like, they have a decade old car, that doesn't seem, I don't know. I'm not that good at telling cars. So if anybody could like picture the car where they're hiding their faces and think, was that an old car? Or that wasn't the car they impounded though, was it?
I think it was because
was it? Yeah.
Because they didn't impound that car until like a week later.
Yeah, right. And
Are you talking about the
could
old
assume-
beat up car that was like with a tarp over it or something?
No, that was Luke's car, like Annie's car.
Okay.
The one they're driving when they're hiding their faces in it. I'm like, is that the car they impounded?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I just
Yeah,
know they had it forever, and they
Yeah.
spent more time there than anywhere else.
Yeah, searching their house, they took more bags out from there than anywhere else.
But give them the benefit of the doubt.
No, absolutely. It could be for
That's the
certain
last
things,
place she was
that
still
like,
alive.
yeah, like they could have took, who knows, the dinner plate she ate off of to get fresh DNA or something, right? We don't know.
Right. Because she had spent the day there before, so maybe
Yeah.
that's why.
The board game with her fingerprints so they could prove they played a board game, We don't know what they took. Could have been anything like that.
Yeah. Who knows?
Annie's book of poems.
And speaking of that, where is Nancy's journal? Because no perp would just go take somebody's journal, because what's it to them?
Yeah, Dear Diary, right?
It
Like,
would have to be somebody that actually knew she
Yeah.
had the journal, and that they would probably be in that journal. So is the journal
Right. And I mean, yeah, family or not, there's still that 96% chance that it was someone Nancy interacted with, whether it be the guy that bagged her groceries, somebody she yelled at for walking, like pooping on her lawn and not cleaning it up, the dog, or, there could be a lot of people that she interacts with in a day that just we don't know about because we don't know her daily routine or.
Who would surprise you the most if you found out they did it? Who would it be that would really, really shock you out of all the people we've heard about yet?
I guess because I've ruled out like Luke, that it would surprise me if Luke had anything to do with it. And I guess it might surprise me if it's someone we hadn't heard about at all.
Yeah, like a I don't know, like, yeah, some guy that, like, her mechanic or something, you know, like,
Right? Yeah, just
somebody
something
that's
right
never been
random.
opened.
Yeah. Be like, what?
See, I think the thing that would surprise me the most is if it was another relative other than Annie or Tommaso. I think that's what would shock me the most.
That if it is them?
Anything else, like a relative other than Annie?
Oh,
and
yeah,
Tommaso.
yeah. Like how that caller had just said cousins came into town or.
Yeah, like, I mean, it would really, really, really surprise me.
It would also surprise me if it was a stranger.
Yeah, that 1%, like
Yeah,
that it's
exactly.
someone she absolutely doesn't know and it was just a random attack and they picked her house.
True. But yeah, out of all the
Yeah.
people we know, I think it would. I mean, it's got to be somebody that we've heard of so far. And what was Monk talking about a chef? Is that just a?
Oh, I think just like how
analogy?
yeah, like Dr. Gary has that the chef and the waiter, how like there's someone behind the scenes, like the man behind the curtain would be the chef and then the waiter is the person that goes and does what the chef tells him.
Okay, I had a feeling, but then I started thinking, wait, is there a chef?
Yeah, because that one glove came back to the restaurant worker or something, right?
Right.
And then we never heard anything more about that. Just like, oh no, that's a restaurant worker and he bikes home every day and throws his gloves in those bushes or something, right? Like,
Why would you even have your gloves? Like, you would just throw them away at work. I don't. It just makes no
right?
sense.
Yeah. Why do you still have them? Like, did you put them in your back pocket and forget, and then you got on your bicycle and they, as you pedaled, worked their way out of your butt pocket or something? Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things we get those little snippet and then never talked about again. Like, oh yeah, that has nothing to do with anything. Keep moving.
And to me, I think those are the clues that probably has more to do with it, and they're trying to dismiss it, so maybe the public doesn't figure it out,
Right,
or
right.
the main
Yeah, that could
person
be,
doesn't
yeah.
feel like that they're onto them. You know?
Yeah, right. That doesn't, yeah, make a move or clam up. That they hope they can catch them in a mistake.
Yeah. And I'm curious. I gotta find this. I gotta find this video again. I'm gonna go back through all of Savannah's, well, Savannah and family, or just Savannah's videos. Wasn't there a thing where Nancy's videos from Facebook or posts all got deleted soon
I've
after?
heard, I've heard a bunch of them were taken down, and I'm not sure if they were all like political. I think that was like hinted at. But
I just wonder
why would you go through and scrub her Facebook afterwards? Yeah,
and leave some things and not others?
yeah. It's again, right, forming a narrative.
Yeah, like, did it tie to something? I mean, and you know, if you did, then you had to have known her well enough to have her Facebook information. So if
Yeah, I
you're
think it was
hiding
Daphne
something-
said that Nancy had like 300 and some Facebook friends in saying that how do you have 300 Facebook friends and not one of them have come forward to like talk about your friend or keep your friend alive or starting a memorial pages or, you know, something.
Maybe her friends or community knows way more than we do,
Which could be, right?
or have their own ideas or whatever, and they're just afraid to say anything.
Sometimes when I hear things about the 1 Bitcoin, half a Bitcoin letters, like, oh, I've got video footage on a cell phone of Nancy on her last day with 2 men or something, and it's on a phone safe, and I think, Sue Ellen, were you up on that hill filming? Like, are you the 1 Bitcoin guy?
Yeah. Didn't she recently post asking about cameras?
I think that was like November 2021. She asked about cameras.
And I wonder why.
I think she said because she liked to watch the wildlife that came around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was on
Someone
like
also said that if you were trying to like watch people at your house, like to see if your housekeeper was stealing, but you didn't want her to know that that's what you're doing, you might publicly put out, "Oh, I just want to watch the animals." But
yeah. And if she did have trust issues with anyone, friend or family or, acquaintance.
I mean,
yeah,
many
she
neighbors in that
wouldn't come
area
out
seem
and
to
say
have
it.
trust
That is
issues.
what she would say.
Yeah, something kind of non-alarming.
Right. Who knows? I'm gonna have
Right?
fun.
It's
I'm
also
gonna be
suspicious.
who?
Oh, everything. Everything's all suspicious.
Oh, it is. It is. It's like trust no one. Anybody could.
Yeah. Right? Every day it's more questions, less answers.
I mean, I could see all the old neighbors that she's got, the freaking gym lady and Sue Ellen teaming up and
Right?
dragging her out, It's like, come on now. Don't clear no one yet.
Yeah, exactly, I'd be watching that neighborhood to see if anybody's like reapplied for a permit they weren't getting before, or did she have neighbor disputes?
The entire neighborhood is creepy.
Yeah, right?
So, and then you got, which I'm afraid to even say that name on, I'm afraid to even speak this person's name. But, you got the guy with the codes that he broke. I mean, could it just, I don't know. Could it just be somebody? I mean, but it has to be somebody that knows. Has there been any connection whatsoever with, I'm going to say his name, Richard Nolet?
Oh, yes. I mean, those signs, right? Like in the neighborhood, the creepy signs, the yellow ones. And then, I mean, Sleuth compared his letters on his cipher that he wrote out to the letters on those signs, and there was a lot of matches. The way he wrote his E's and different things.
Yeah, and he hadn't supposed to been in Arizona for I don't know how long, but he was spotted in that truck with that camper.
Yeah, right? Like
the truck was seen without the camper, and it was a truck that put those weird signs out.
Yeah, again, a lot of coincidences. And then, like, I think he was the one that wrote those letters to Brian Enton, too, and sent them to Aldean's house. Because remember when he first talked to Sleuth, and Sleuth was saying, like, about, oh, you've got, like, a lot of, information and a lot of stuff. And I remember him saying, oh, I had so much more, but I sent everything, all my originals, to a reporter, and they never got back to me and never did anything with them.
And he says his brother is when he does that cipher, he says his brother, but if you go and you look at the pictures of his brother looks nothing.
Yeah, and I mean, like, he does also resemble Monk's sketch that he did over the mask, the drawing. Like, yes, it looks a lot like Tommaso, but it also looks a lot like the picture he uses too,
It's you get into that kind of that. I don't even know if I even want to watch any more him. Man, I get freaked out so bad I can't even sleep.
No, exactly. Like, yeah, he's to be seen only through safe channels. Like,
man, I'm telling you,
like going on his live to watch just like terrifies me.
You hear the story of his childhood and you think, oh my God, like I almost cry, listening to the stories of his childhood.
Yeah.
But then I start thinking, was his childhood so bad that it screwed him up in the head?
Yeah,
that he is his brother.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even know it. Like he's trying to solve a case and it's his case.
Yeah. Inserting himself into it, like Because how did he start doing this? He was just a chatter that started commenting on things. I know who did it.
Yeah. Like I love my scary movies and anything
Yeah,
to do
right?
with paranormal and possessions, and I can watch demonic shit. But when I watch this guy, it's like a psychological
Right? It's too real.
thriller,
It's
and
too
it really gets
scary.
in my head and freaks me out so bad. So, I mean, we only got like 13 people in here, so I know he's not watching.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I don't like seeing his name. So freaking creeped out.
Yeah, he might disappear.
Eek. I watch him. I must say the word creepy like more times than JLR's ever said it.
Yeah, right? Yeah, the first, might have been the second time that he was on Sleuth, and just some of the things he was saying, and I was like, I think he just confessed to 3 like unalivings. You know, sure, he was saying my brother did it, but like it sounded all too much like.
I didn't even think like I don't know. I know he has a brother, the Michael Millette or whatever. And
Yeah, because Sleuth said that he reached out to him, the brother, and said like, I don't want to be on your show. I want nothing to do with this. Don't talk about me. And if you keep messing with him, you're gonna learn why we don't talk to him anymore.
oh Jesus.
So like the brother's real, but the brother doesn't think much of him.
Yeah, and the brother wouldn't have even. Oh my God. Yeah.
Right?
I think he has
Yeah,
another
he was-
brother, and I think he is the other brother.
Yeah, I think so, you know? Like multiple personality type of he identifies as.
Yeah. Like he's a couple different people. He could even be his father. Who
Right.
knows? I mean, I know the ciphers are older than him, but
Yeah, but yeah.
who's to say he's
Right?
reading
Like think
stuff
Norman
and making
Bates,
it up
where he was
in his
living with
head?
the skeleton of his dead mom kind of movie, you know, and making her voices and
Right? Like Bates Motel shit there.
yeah, right?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna have to hop off here. I definitely want to go catch up on some of that stuff tonight too. Hopefully, I can.
Right? Yeah, I definitely recommend watching Patriot Prides from last night. I think it was last night where he did. It was called like Staged. And then I'm gonna watch the Nancy Grace one. We had a good live, everybody. Unfortunately,
Yeah, we did. Nice,
Yes,
quiet little group.
Safe.
Yes. Yep, I like that. I like that. I mean, I'd
Thanks,
rather
everyone, for joining
I
us.
would take this little group any day over a chat like JLR has.
Oh my goodness. Right?
Relaxing, just shooting the shit. It's
I
great.
get dizzy when reading this chat. Yeah.
Right?
Yes. But okay, guys. Well, we will see you in Discord. We will see you in the other streamers' chats. And we will see you
Right?
next
Thanks,
Monday
everyone.
night. All right.
Thanks, Mystic. Thanks, Lols.
All right. Have a good night, all.
Night, everyone.
Y'all.